Hi Virgos, this is Zahara Stars with Illum Astrology, and I'm going to be giving you your February 2018 astro weather forecast. So let's get started. The second part of February is going to be a very romantic time for you. You're going to be having, when Venus moves into Pisces on the 10th, it will be transiting your 7th house of relationships. So Valentine's Day and your interaction with others in general from the 10th on, actually, through the rest of February, when Venus is in Pisces, we tend to be a lot more sensitive, nostalgic, romantic, compassionate, dreamy. So it's going to be a very romantic time for you specifically because it is in your 7th house. You may want to be spending more time with friends. You can definitely, if you're single, you can find a potential love partner. But the 7th house is about partnerships. So if you're in business for yourself, the second part of February, business can increase. You can get develop new relationships and expand your network. So it's going to be, the first part of February is a little bit more active because the planets are in Aquarius. And then the second part of February, once Venus makes its move into Pisces, the sun will shortly follow. And then followed by the rest of the planets moving through Pisces, kind of slows things down, makes it more, romantic, sweet, sensitive. So the first part of February is going to be a lot more active for you. You guys do have Mars transiting your 4th house of home, which makes, activities at home pick up. This means you could be really busy at home. If you work for yourself, you could be very busy working at home. If you live with somebody, it can potentially point to some conflict, whether it's with a family member or with a roommate or whatnot, but it's not always the case. It definitely shows a lot of action and activity at home. This could be sometimes, moving things around, rearranging stuff. Like I said, working for yourself at home, visiting and spending more time with family members, being invited to family events, stuff like that. Jupiter has been transiting your 3rd house, and Jupiter is actually going to be going retrograde on March 8th. So this is the last month that all the planets will be direct before we start going into retrograde season, or I call it retrograde mania, and especially this year because all of the planets are going retrograde, including Venus and Mars. So those don't happen but every 2.5 years. And I'd like to just say right now, while I'm in the middle of it, that you should please listen to my general February 2018 forecast, because I'm going to cover I covered all the retrograde planets along with the eclipses in more detail and along with a lot of the aspects. So that's kind of like something that you should listen to in addition to this, because it just gives a lot more information for you to kind of understand further how February will be for you. So Jupiter transiting your 3rd house is a lot of communication, activity, paperwork, local travel. You tend to be really busy. Some people I've known that had Jupiter transiting the 3rd house had to go to 2 different jobs in totally 2 different sides of town. Sometimes people have a lot of different errands they have to run. Just busy. It's just a busier time when it comes to driving, talking, socializing, doing paperwork, communicating. So if you're in business for yourself, it's a really good time, especially if you're using the computer, the internet, communicating. And you're going to have him there for a while because he's going to turn retrograde March 8th, and he's going to stay in retrograde motion until July 10th when he goes direct at 21 degrees Scorpio. So you'll have him there for quite a while. When he turns retrograde, you'll be reviewing all of these things. Like I said, go back and listen to my general forecast for all that about the retrogrades, because it does go into further detail. But going back to what else is happening for you, aside from the fact that Mars is transiting your 4th house, there'll be a lot of activity at home, family, and all that stuff. And then Venus has moved into your 7th house on the 10th of February, which is awesome for romance, relationships, hanging out with friends, just having a good time, expanding your network. You'll have a lot of luck with people in general while Venus transits that house. You've had Uranus transiting your 8th house for some time now. Uranus transits tend to be around 5 years, depending upon how large your house is. So there's definitely been a lot of changes and transformation that have been occurring in this house for you, which has a lot to do with the resources of others, other people's money, investments, taxes, also has to do with your partner, if you're involved with somebody. If not, you could have just suddenly met somebody, a deep relationship where there's a lot of merging going on. Uranus likes to do things differently. So whatever you've been having going on there, for you, it's in the sign of Aries. There's been likely changes that have been happening over the past 5 years when it comes to the resources of others, intimacy, money, other people's money, taxes, sharing, and all that stuff. So that's usually a very exciting or different mix-up transit. I mean, anytime it has to do with Uranus, it's always, mix it up. Whatever it's been going on there, it's definitely bound to change. Going back to the Sun and Mercury, they've been transiting your 4th house. They've been transiting your 6th house of work and daily routine, health, and I like to say, it has a lot to do. This house is the house of perfection. It's the house of Virgo. It's your house. So, it has to do with refining stuff, working out, eating healthy, and all that stuff. So you might have had a little bit of a focus on that in that area through January. But like I said, the sun is going to be moving into Pisces around the 11th, shortly after Venus. So you're going to have, your 7th house activated for relationships and partnerships and friends and hanging out. Plus Jupiter in the 3rd is all about communicating, driving around town, doing stuff. Mars in the 4th is a lot of, home activity, spending time with family, and enjoying your time there. So it looks like this month is going to be, it's going to be, if you're single and you're looking for someone, you definitely have the opportunity to meet somebody with Venus transiting your 7th house. But overall, you're going to have good relations with other people. Your friends can end up introducing you to somebody. They could be a business partner, somebody that you do business with. It is the house of partners, but also marriage. So if you're married, you could have a wonderful time with your partner. It usually spices things up, makes them more romantic, and you tend to get along really, really well, even if you always get along really well. So it generally looks like it's going to be a pretty romantic last part of the month for you. And overall, go back and check my general forecast so that way you can hear about all the rest of the retrograde planets that are coming up, along with more information about the eclipses. But the eclipses for you, like I said, are in your 12th house and your 6th house. And these are both houses that, like I said, the 6th house is about work, fitness, routine, health, also improving things, perfecting things. And the 12th house is all about secrets, hidden dreams, bedroom behaviors, sanctuaries, and the subconscious mind. So having these two houses activated, the eclipse that's going to happen on the 15th is a solar eclipse in Aquarius, and that will be in your 6th house of health, fitness, and routine. So you're likely going to feel a shakeup in that house where you're going to want to make some changes in regarding to your fitness, your health, or anything like that. If you happen to be in the business of fitness or health, you can see an increase in clients. You can see some growth in that area. As far as the 12th house goes, experiencing that full super blood blue moon lunar eclipse in the 12th house was really about letting go of any subconscious tendencies that may have been sabotaging you. Secrets might have been revealed. Hidden things might have been discovered. These are all an important process to moving forward, because a lot of times we're carrying baggage from the past, hurts, disappointments, early childhood things, all sorts of stuff. So having a full moon eclipse, or a super full moon eclipse, especially in that house, is powerful for letting go of those things. And that way you can carry on in the future without those things holding you back and subconsciously sabotaging you. We tend to have all these hidden fears that we don't know that we are acting out in our everyday life. So that's very powerful, and I always love an eclipse in that house, because who doesn't want to get rid of some baggage or some negative thinking or some, things that you've been holding on to that it's time to let go of. So you're going to be starting a new path of a lot, with a lot lighter, with less baggage, which really is going to allow you to approach things in a new and fresh way, with less fears or anxiety about it. I know Virgos can tend to worry sometimes, because you guys are the perfectionists, and you do think you're a mental sign. You're very smart. So this is really, really good. And then having the house of fitness and health being activated, with this eclipse that's happening in Aquarius, it's going to help you. You could, if you were looking to lose weight or to get on a diet or to start a new workout, routine, whether it's even hiking, biking, or just whatever, it doesn't matter, yoga, you're likely to begin something, because this eclipse, you might cut out something that you've been doing and then start something new, or you may just start something new. But nonetheless, February is pretty much a really easygoing month for everyone. Some signs are experiencing some of the difficulties, experiencing Saturn, in harder, tougher aspects. I mean, this is a general reading. So, if you'd like a personal reading where I can look at your chart, you can definitely visit my website, my blog at www.illumastrology.blogspot.com. I also have tons of information about aspects and placements and everything on my site, along with a beginner's mini course in astrology. So you can just find it useful just to find information about astrology if you're interested, for free. But other than that, I am wishing you guys a fabulous February 2018. Please do check back for March 2018. There's going to be a lot going on there. And don't forget to check out my February general forecast. All right. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will talk to you all soon.